Hello again, this is the course of Introduction to Data Science. In this video, I would like to continue about the chapter about the data visualization. In the previous video, you already learned how to apply some data visualization like the histogram and bar chart and scatter plot. You already learned about a pair plot. Okay, so to still remember what is pair plot. Okay, in this pair plot, we want to see the pair relationship between the attributes. So it means you want to see like the sepal length and the sepal width. So here is directly show the visualization in the scatter plot between two numerical attributes. And the respective of the attribute will be based on the variable or the attribute species. Okay, the species, there are three: Setosa, versicolor, and virginica, and you can see those in the blue, orange, and green color. And if you this related with the respective attributes, sepaling and the sepalem, then it just show the number of the species in that particular attributes. Those kind of things are expressed visually, like this one, the correlation. You want to show the heat map, and then you want to show the correlation between the attributes. One means there is a high correlation. Of course, the sepal length and the sepal length, because it is actually there is no meaning between those two variables, because they are having the same numbers. Okay, but if the sepal width and the sepal length, you can see there is minus 0.12, then it is a negative correlation. What about this sepal length and petal length? Oh, this is a high correlation. And petal length and petal width, okay, this is also a high correlation. Then you can see that those numbers with high correlation might be the best attributes to be analyzed further. Okay, so those things are related with the heat map, okay, and the other things that you already learned before. So in this video, I would like to teach you about the faceted histograms. What is this? What does it mean by faceted? So the best way to view the data is via histogram of subsets. So it means you have the subsets, and then you want to show it. In the seaborn, there is a function facet grid. So the facet grid, it makes the histogram of subset is more simple. Okay? So let's see, they want to use the attributes. We want to use another data set. Okay, so there's another data set, we call it tips. So this tips, it is from the SNS. So if you run this code, so I recommend you to run from the first one. Yeah, in the first one we already have the SNS. What is the SNS? Where is yes, this one. So SNS is from the package Seaborn. We want to use this Seaborn, and there are many data sets available in the Seaborn. One of the data set is IDS, and the other data set that we will use now is tips. Okay, so what is tips? Okay, I will just run this, and then you can see tips contain of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because there are 7 attributes. And you're gonna know that tips.head means I want to see the first 5 data. In the first 5 data, I can see like the total bill, okay, tip, sex, smoker, day, time, size. Okay. So in this data set, we want to see the restaurant. Okay. The restaurant staff receive tips. Oh, this is the data from America. And you know that in America, they have the habits, they have the, it is common if you pay some tips in the restaurant. So if you visit a restaurant, if you have dine in, and then after you finish your dinner or after you finish your lunch, you need to give a tip. Yeah. So it's just like a common way to appreciate the waiter. And the amount of the tip, it will represent the quality of the food, or it will represent the uh, satisfaction of the customer among the waiters. Okay. And the total bill is already extracted. You know, the total bill means how much did you pay for your dinner or for your lunch. And then you have the tip. It means the tip is the amount of money that you give to the waiter. Female, so this is the person who gave the tip. And then smoker, so if, whether the person is smoking or not. Day means the uh, day of the week. So there are 4 days. I think this in this data they have Sunday, Saturday, and Friday and Thursday. And dinner, they have the uh, time. Time is the dinner and lunch, okay? And size, the number of customers. So if the size is 2, then there are 2 customers. Okay, if the number is 3, then there are 3 customers in one table, and they spend $10, and the tip is 1.66, something like that. Okay, so I want to know the detailed information about those data type. Okay, the total bill is float, the tip is float, and sex, smoker, daytime, they are categorical data, and the size is integer. Okay. First, you can just use the describe to describe the data overall, the overall description of the data. And I want to include all, means the categorical data also included in the analysis. And yeah, you can see the total bill is this one, and then the tip, sex, smoker, daytime, and so on. And it seems that everything is quite fine. Okay. Oh yeah, I give you, this is the description. Okay. So the description is one way to recorded information about each tip you receive over a period of a few months working in restaurant. So the data, there are 244 rows and 7 variables. And the details are here. So we have the total bill, the bill in dollars, and the tip is in dollar. About sex, sex is the bill payer, female or male, and the smoker, whether there were smokers in the group. And the day is Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday, and the time is the dinner or lunch. Size of the party means that group. So there are 2 until 6. Okay. So this is the data, like the total bill. The the highest bill is like $50. The minimum is $3, and the average is $19. And the tip is, the minimum is $1. Okay, maybe because the minimum is $3, so he pay $1, and then the maximum is $10 for the tip. That's cool. And the mean or the average is 2.9, or about $3. And the other things that you can see from this data is about the categorical data, about the smoker, day and time. The top is dinner, and the day, the top is Saturday. So it means there are many customer who visit this restaurant on Saturday, and they mostly a dinner. Oh no, maybe, yeah, dinner can be any day. So it can be Saturday, it can be Friday, it can be Sunday, it can be Thursday. Okay, but there are many dinner data that they extracted, and the taxpayer are mostly male. Yeah, you can see from this one. Okay, and now we have the data. Okay, but I just want to know if there is a possibility to know the percentage. Yeah, what is the meaning by percentage? So I want to divide the tip divided by the total bill. Okay, I want to create a new column. So how can I create a new column? So we can just create any name. Okay, any name. So the name can be, what you want to represent about the column. So in this case, I want to create a tip percent. It means this is the percentage of the tip in comparison to the total bill. So the formula will be this one. You know what? 100 means you want to change it into the percentage, 100%, multiplied by tips. Tips is the data frame, and then I want to use the data in the column tip divided by the data in the column total bill. Okay, so if you run this one, then you will see that the tip percent is 5.9 something something. It is from the 1.01 divided by 16.99. So this one, 16%, it is from the 1.66 divided by 10.34. So this data divided by this data, it will represent this data. Okay. Yeah, of course there might be some questions why we need to use this percentage. Yeah, I just want to know if the tip is quite big in terms of the ratio or the percentage um in accordance to the total bill. Okay. Now you can do with various data visualization, but in this example I just want to show you some of them. Let's say, yeah, in the previous one, you use the scatter plot, and then you use the histogram bar chart. Okay, so we also can apply those data visualization technique. Let's say I want to plot what is the data that I want to plot is the tip. Yeah, so the tip, we have the tips, which is the x, and then the frequency is the uh, y. Okay, maybe this is not the frequency, but it is the it is in the respective of the time sequence. Okay, so with respective to the time sequence, this is the first data, and this is second data, and this is the third data, and so on. And we have 244 data. So this is the first the data with respect to the row number, and then this is uh, the amount of tip. Okay, so I guess this is not frequency, but this is the amount of tip. Okay, so if you run this, you will see that this is amount of tip, and then okay, there is a very big amount of tip here is $10. Okay, so yeah, if you want to see more about this one, then you can apply any data visualization tool. And then now I would like to know the distribution. So if you have the basic knowledge about the difference between histogram and bar chart. So for the histogram, we can make the bin. What does it mean by bin? So we want to separate the number of the frequency. Okay, that I want to see how many customer who give the tips in terms of some ranges. So here, I want to see the tips. So this is the 0 until 2, 2 until 3, 3 until 4, 4 until 5, 5 until 6, 6 until 7, 7 until 8, 8 until 9, 9 until 10. So something like that. And I want to know how many of them who gave the tips. Okay, so this is the column tip, and I want to make it into the histogram, and the pins equals to 10. What does it mean by 10? So I have 10 columns here. Okay, so I want to have the range until 5 until 10, and then this is the tips, and then this is the frequency. And you can see that from the distribution, the frequency, there are many customers who gave the tips in the range of 2 until 4 something. Okay, so it's high frequency. How about if you change the pins? Let's see if I change to 5. Okay, so it means you have only 5 bar. Okay, you have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, yeah, as we already saw from the previous one, so the highest frequency are 2 and 4. So it will be still the same in the range of 2 and 4, but now the pin is a little bit different. You can change to 8, for example. Okay. Oh, this is quite interesting. Okay, so the number of 2 and 4 is quite high, but something missing here. Okay, nobody give like $9 or $8. Okay, and yeah, let me give just 10. Okay, so okay, less than 2. Yeah, there are only less numbers than 2 until 4. So if you make the pins is high, then you can see the distribution clear. If you make the pins is small, then you will see also a very small kind of numbers in the distributions. It depends on you, so you can adjust, and then based on these pins, you can analyze your data. Okay. What about the uh, pie chart? Okay, so there's another kind of data visualization. We can show this data using the pie chart. And let's say I just want to, okay, this is another way to plot. Okay, in the previous one, you just say the PLT dot HIST means the histogram. But in this example, I want to call the data frame, and I want to call the data which is sex, and then I want to do the value counts. Do you still remember? Okay, so we want to count the number of sex, and after I know the count of the variable or the attribute sex, let's plot it. Okay, and what is the plot? I'm just using pi. So this can be changed, like, yeah, because now you're using pi. Okay, and you can choose bar. Okay, so this is for bar chart like this one. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can just pi bar, and of course you can put line, but there is no meaning with the line in this case because there are only two. So line means for the uh, conti continuous attribute, so the numerical data. If you want to do with the categorical data, you can use pi or bar. Okay, now we are entering one new example about the facet grid. So what is facet grid? When you want to visualize your data, you may compare. Okay, you may compare the attribute with regard to the data itself. Let's see, for example, I want to know the time, which is lunch and dinner, in comparison with the sex. Sex means the male and female. And I want to see those distributions. Okay. So if, yeah, we have the, like this example, like 2 and 2. Okay. So in this uh, variable time, in this attribute time, we have two. This is lunch and dinner. In the attribute sex, we have also two, male and female. Then, yeah, it's not that difficult to understand. So we want to do the facet grid, and the tips is the data set, and then the row, okay, the row is the sex. It means I want to use the sex data for the row, and the col means the column is the time, okay, and then margin titles is true, so we want to put the titles, and after we put this grid with this definition, so I want to map this with the plt dot histogram. And what is the things that I want to show? So I want to show the tip percent, okay. So in the tip percent, yes, you can see that the tip percent, the percentage of the dinner time is high compared to the lunch time, okay. So by using this kind of visualization, you can easily see how the data is distributed among the time. And of course, if you have this one, it means you have three attributes. The first is categorical, the second is categorical, and the third is, yeah, you can use, because it is histogram, then the data should be numerical. But if you want to use the categorical data, and yeah, it depends on what visualization that you want to use. The other example is also about the sex and time, yeah, but I would like to use a new parameter, which is pins. Yeah. What does it mean by pins? So this one, I know that the distribution is somewhat like sparse. I cannot see any number here. I cannot see any number here. So it means after 40 is nothing. Okay, after 40, yeah, there's one, okay, in this plot, but it's like outlier. Am I right? Okay, so it is outlier because I cannot see this is a number that is in the range of the common ground, or it is in the range of the normal distribution. So I want to make a new parameter, which is the pin, you know, the pin, like the histogram before. We can arrange the pin like 10, 5, and etc. according to your knowledge. So in this case, I want to make the pin from 0 until 40. So I know that after 40, there is not that much about the tip. So after I know that it's from 0 until 40, and let's split between 15. Okay, so you can see there are 15 split in this in between 0 until 40. Okay, and yeah, you can see more compact distribution, and it will show you more dense information. Let's say in the dinner time, in the previous one, you will see only like this one, though there are many person who give the tips higher in the dinner time, like more than 60, but now you can split the higher frequency, the 60, into other pin. Okay, so the distribution is something like this one. Okay, the highest one is like between 15%, something like that. Okay, and also in this data, we can see that, okay, male seems giving higher tip. Am I right? Okay, male is giving higher tip than female. Oh, this is interesting. And yeah, Can you think about this? Okay, yeah, there are many insight from this one. For example, in the lunchtime, the male uh, is less giving the tip compared to the dinner time. In this figure, we can say that female give the same, either lunch or dinner. Yeah, something is good to see from this visualization. The other kind of uh, facet grids, okay, if we have the facet grid, we can compare with one histogram. We can see the histogram in one big point of view, like this one. There is also another kind of visualization, which is vector plots. So this vector plots means I want to see, let's say this is only one example. I want to see according to the uh, male and female with regard to the day, and I want to plot the total bills. So the same, we have three data. Okay, I want to have two categorical, which is day and sex, and one continuous. And for this one, I'm using the okay, SNS. And the way to use this tool is to mention about the access. So the access style means I want to put the ticks. Ticks, it means the ticks, just the ticks. Okay, and then the categorical plot, I want to plot the day. Okay? The day is the X, and then the total bill is the Y. Okay? So the total bill will be the continuous data or numerical data, and then I want to color this one with the sex. Okay? And then the data is from the tips. The kind is box. If you still remember the previous one, we have the box plot. So I would like to put the label in the X and the Y, which is regarding to the day and the total bill. So using this axis plot, we can easily see. Then yes, the male and the female, when they give uh, in regard to the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Oh, it's interesting. Male is likely spending more on the average, but on Saturday, female is spending higher. Okay, and in the Sunday, yeah, male is higher than female. So using the box plot that you understand, you can see the line in the middle is the median. Okay, and this is the maximum, the maximum, the maximum. So this is the Q1, and this is the Q3. Okay, so those kind of things you can represent with this one, and you can analyze. Okay, so this is the basic data visualization with Matplotlib and Seaborn. Of course, there are many things that you can see, but at least this is only the introduction for the data visualization, and I will continue with other video to discuss another thing. Thank you very much. See you on another video.